What's up? A to Z Sports Live on a Wednesday. Going to have a great show introducing our new member of A to Z Sports Nashville and a part of the morning show and more. We will discuss and introduce officially Easton Freeze to the team, but three-person show today as we get to intro Easton. So Austin Stanley, Sam Phelan with you guys on this Wednesday, and we're going to play a game of Get to Know Easton. Like, what's the most interesting thing about yourself that you do around the campfire with all the kids' camps? No, we're going to go through Titans bold takes, get Easton's boldest take about this Titans team. Sam and I will do the same thing, and then we'll have some rapid fire predictions at the end of the show and also sports trivia. So we'll go a little three-person sports trivia. We'll see if that helps or hurts our ability to succeed in our sports trivia. So, Sam, we'll see how this goes, but a great day here. We've got the announcement that was Easton yesterday that we teased. There is another announcement that will come later today after the show, midday, closer to lunch. Yesterday was, a little right after the show, but another announcement today, and we'll get to react to that one tomorrow on Thursday. So welcome everybody into the show. Sam, tell the people what they got to do, and we'll dive in here to Easton's first day.
All right. Well, hey, if you're joining us here today, nice little Wednesday, nice press conference Wednesday. Going to hear from Brian Callahan and some Titans players a little bit later on. But we got business to take care of first. We got a good show talking about our hot Titans takes and getting to know Easton here on a Wednesday for all of you. But share the show. Listen, because we're introducing Easton today and it's his first show, some people who watch A to Z Sports might not, know that we've made a change to the team, might not know that Easton's working in the rotation. Share the show. Let them know, hey, come tune in, figure out what Easton's all about here. Come get some hot takes. Who doesn't love a hot take before week 1 of the NFL season? Share the show before we go. You can do that by hitting the share button in the bottom right corner of Facebook. You can take that YouTube link, send it to a group chat or a Titans fan in your life, and let them know what A to Z Sports is all about here before we kick it off on a Wednesday.
Yep, we'll see it going officially. Welcome into A to Z Sports, powered as always by the BetMGM app. I'm Austin Stanley. He is Sam Phelan of A to Z Sports.com, and also welcoming Easton Freeze, now of A to Z Sports Nashville. We are Nashville's on-demand sports talk network, going live weekday mornings at 8 Central Time on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Links to the show segment by segment on our Twitter X timeline. And also hit us up on Instagram, TikTok, and Threads for more great Titans content. Got to thank our sponsors because they make it happen for us. And they help out all of you, like Wilson County Hyundai. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go. Make them a part of your new car buying process. The Bone and Joint Institute, boneandjointtn.org, the region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Farm Bureau Health Plans. Get better with Farm Bureau Health Plans. Save some money and get a better rate by using our link on your coverage, fbhp.com/ATOZ. And TDOT. Nobody trashes Tennessee, and you can be a part of the solution to end littering and make sure nobody trashes Tennessee. Become a member at nobodytrashestennessee.com. We introed TDOT as a new partner yesterday on the show as we flipped the calendar to September. And now we introduce Easton Freeze, the new member of A to Z Sports Nashville. I saw some RIP Jack comments in the chat before the show started. Jack's not dead. He's not dead, but talked to him yesterday. He's not dead. But moving on to other things. And so we bring in Easton Freeze, who's been covering the Titans for, is this season number 3 for you? Or is this season number 4 for you? Where are we at?
This will be year 4.
Year 4. Yes, 4.
Sir.
So welcome to the show. Welcome to the company officially. Did the official introduction on social media yesterday, but here we are. Tell us about yourself. Who are you? What do you do? What are you here for?
Hello, gentlemen. It is such a pleasure to finally be on the show with you guys. Everybody in the chat, pleasure to meet you all. I appreciate you welcoming me with open arms. I saw a couple of Easton looks like a mugshot. Easton looks like Josh Allen, which I think is a compliment. Easton looks like another Sam, which I hope you guys like Sam, and that's a good thing. You just have double trouble now. I'm stoked to be here. We've been talking about this for a couple weeks behind the scenes, and so I've been looking forward to first day on the show. I'll be here throughout the year. So like me or hate me, you're stuck with me now, folks, in the comments. I've been covering the Titans for 4 years, like Austin said. The entirety of that time, I was working with Broadway Sports Media, another company here in town, working with guys like Zach Lyons and Mike Herndon and Justin Mello. You're probably familiar with some of those guys. I've been on the Titans beat. This will be my 3rd season out there. And so now Sam and I can tag team practices, tag team interviews, press conferences. We'll be getting double the action for you guys from the Titans facility, dominating all that coverage on the ground. And then I'll be over at A2ZSports.com writing about the Titans for most of this season, branching out into some NFL storylines that I find compelling that I want to share with you guys from time to time. And I'll be here on the morning show twice a week, I think is the plan, on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And then Austin and I will have you covered on game days with the pre-halftime and post-game shows. So I'm excited to get to know you guys, Austin and Sam, even though I know you relatively well already. Excited to get to know all of you strangers in the comments. It's going to be an awesome season.
Yeah, and so Easton there kind of mentioning the game day setup. We're excited about that, working on putting some final touches on what our Titan game day show is going to look like. But yes, every Titans game, all 17 of them, pregame, halftime, postgame, the three of us will be in that rotation as well. Sam will be in Chicago this weekend, going back home to his roots to gush over Caleb Williams in person. And then Sam also making a couple other road game trips along with Buck Rising to some Titans games. So the majority of these Titan Game Day Live pregame, halftime, postgame shows will be Easton and I, which I'm excited about because, as we made this addition to the staff, Easton, you are very different than Sam and I when it comes to how you watch football. And I think that's a good thing because Sam and I, we've talked about this off the air. We like the storylines and the narratives and kind of that type of feel about it. You're an analytical person. So if there was a hole in our game, then maybe a little bit more analytics was that. I don't think there was a very big hole, but there we go. But you have that analytical viewpoint, which I think is a good thing for us to have different perspectives because we all know it's a very boring show if we just sit up here and agree with each other about everything.
I'm going to prove how you guys are idiots all the time. I can't wait.
So, Sam, you've been working with Easton at the facility for the last couple of years too. So I know this is going to be a good fit and pumped about, we'll have some other shows where, you guys will be together or whatever it is, but let's just
Austin,
go ahead.
Sam and I were up in Indianapolis, not to cut you off at the combine. Right. We were celebrating at the end of the week, a week hard worked, and we were just grabbing a drink, musing over, I wonder if we could ever work together one day. How fun would that be? And look, here we are just a couple of months later. So a cool full circle moment.
Well, and I've told Austin this before, but Easton and I have had many A to Z Sports morning shows, sitting in the Titans press box, standing on the sideline of the Titans practice field, and just bickering about whatever topic that we disagree on. And so, it's not difficult to see how that will transition to being on the air and create for some nice, entertaining, content for the people. Austin and I had a nice little fight the other day on the show, and I think it energized everybody. It got us all going a little bit. It was fun. Easton, the big question from the chat here, which honestly is like the most damning question.
This is a very important question, and it does matter how you answer this.
Do you know where I'm going?
If it's the question I've seen 17 times in the chat, I think I know where this is going.
They always want to know, man, who is your team? Who is your team? So let's get that background information.
I am a massive Ravens fan. No, I'm a Titans fan. I was born and raised in Middle Tennessee. If you listen to people online, because I am not fanatical in my coverage of the Titans, I am really a Jaguars, Texans, Colts, Ravens fan. That is what many people online believe me to be. But no, I am a Titans fan. My dad was one of the founding season ticket members. You can see his name up on the wall at the 50-yard line in the concourse. I grew up going to Titans games in the lower bowl. And then I decided I'm going to start covering them. And so I think, and Sam and I talk about this all the time, what the difference between new media and old media. Old media would say, if you have a team, you can't cover them. You certainly can't be objective in that coverage. I think that's dumb and wrong. I think that you see some of the greatest people in the game right now at the highest level. Mina Kimes, massive Seattle Seahawks fan. Does that impact her coverage on ESPN? No, it doesn't, because she's good at what she does. I think I'm good at what I do. Sam's a fan of the Bears. I think he's good at what he does, and he's going to spend all week talking fairly and objectively about the Titans and the Bears game.
Not according to the chat. Not according to the chat.
That's right. Well, that's
and I'm just a jaded person who's seen too much over the last 12 years.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Austin is already numb to it all, so it doesn't matter what Austin thinks.
No, I do tend to.
But I am a Titans fan for folks in the comments.
Yeah, I do tend to adopt that point of view as well, Easton. I think, it is a weird disconnect between sports fans and sports media. It throughout a lot of the market now across the country is this idea that like sports fans crave somebody who feels the way about their team that they do.
Sure.
They want somebody who they can relate to. They want somebody who feels the level of passion and frustration. And so while, yes, I am a Bears fan, when I watch the Titans, when I react, I mean, there's been plenty that we can go back and find post-game, shows here where I'm furious, like steam coming out of the ears about the Titans, because I try and put myself in the mindset of a Titans fan and try and be the voice of the Titans fans, which I think is helpful. And so, yeah, this idea in older media, this idea that you cannot have fandom for the team. One, yeah, I would say this to anybody. I think they're just lying. You are just lying.
Mm-hmm.
You calling me a liar?
If you go to any old, a little bit. If you go to any old,
no, absolutely not. Absolutely
I
not.
have such a hard time, like, because I've been in the room, I've interacted with a lot of people in the media space, and like I've seen how they covered the team. All of these people have a rooting interest in the team, and if they claim that they do not, they are lying. It's a high horse sort of like, oh, I'm not a fan, but then they operate and act exactly like a fan would act in a media person's body. So I don't think it's a bad thing to say, hey, look, I'm a Titans fan. I don't think it's a bad thing to own. I don't think it's a bad thing to let even impact sometimes the way that you act, as long as you are able to be, like you said, objective in your coverage. It definitely provides Titans fans in our chat and Titans fans that are on A to Z Sports that come to A to Z Sports regularly for practice videos, for interviews with players, for, objective analysis and just hot takes where they like to feel vindicated about stuff. Like, that is a good thing for the market and for the Titans fandom. So,
and Sam, ultimately, I think to put a bow on this, anybody in that room with us, I think in this industry, you can't be team Titans or team Texans or team Ravens. You got to be team content, baby. And that's what I said all the time on my other show. I'm team content. I want to be interesting. I want to have interesting things happen so that I can be interesting on these shows. And usually that means the team winning games or losing games in dramatic fashion, whatever that looks like. As a Titans fan, I'm still hoping that it's the winning side of things, but as long as they're interesting, I'm happy.
Yes, it absolutely be interesting. A couple other comments. Jerome, I'm late. Who this dude? This Jack? No, Jack is no longer with us.
He's a lot of cosmetic surgery.
He's no longer with us. But no, Jack moved on to other things with his decision. We talked about that last week. And Noah asked, are you going to bring back Titans at 2? Yes, actually, Titans at 2 will return tomorrow on Thursday. And then it'll be back on Monday as well. So we'll have that schedule that will work out as the season officially gets going now that we are in game week.
Quick note for Noah. Titans at 2 this year will not be airing as a live broadcast. We will be airing them and debuting them on YouTube. So I'll be coming at you for updates from post press conference, from, after practice, after meeting with Titans assistant coaches. And I will be uploading those in the form of YouTube videos. So keep an eye on those for YouTube, but live broadcasts, no.
How about this for a tease? Titans at 2 Monday after the Bears game will be on the water.
It will be on the water.
On the water.
Literally. Sam just treading water in the middle of the lake.
On the water.
Right.
Carrying water.
So
it's probably going to be carrying water. You can book that.
All right, so we got a lot to dive into, and with 3 people, we're going to talk for 2 hours. So we'll go ahead and keep on moving this. The best way I thought to introduce Easton was to ask him and everybody. So we're all going to do this. Easton's going to lead us off, and then Sam and I in the chat, we're all going to have these conversations here. But we want to know, what's your boldest take about this Titans team? What is your boldest Titans take for this 2024 team, as we are just now days away from kicking off the 2024 season? So we'll get to Easton's boldest take. We want your boldest take in the chat on Facebook and YouTube. Make sure you hit that like button too to intro Easton in here. But first, like I mentioned yesterday, introing a new sponsor here on A to Z Sports with T-Dot, and nobody trashes Tennessee. Did you know there are over 88 million pieces of litters on Tennessee's roadways right now. It's a big problem, but we can all be a part of that solution. TDOT spends over $23 million every year cleaning up that litter, but they can't do it alone. You can help by making simple changes. That's stopping littering, picking up the litter that you see when you walk by it or drive by it, or join local cleanups. Every action counts, and Tennessee needs all of us to step up because you can be a part of the solution to help keep Tennessee as beautiful as it is. Visit NobodyTrashTennessee.com to get involved and see how you can make a difference with TDOT and Nobody Trashes Tennessee. Once again, the website, pretty simple, NobodyTrashesTennessee.com.
Today's show powered by BetMGM. BetMGM is the sportsbook born in Vegas. Whoa, hello. Easton got split in half.
Oh, God.
Wrong graphic.
Born in Vegas. Go on to BetMGM. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up. You can get up to $1,500 back in bonus bets if your first bet misses. Whatever that first wager amount is, it goes back into your account in the form of a bonus bet if you miss. So bonus code ATOZ Sports with BetMGM.com.
All right, so here we are now going into our boldest take. So we'll have some comments in the chat as well, but what is your boldest take for this 2024 Titan season? Easton, we will let you be lead off, guy, since you are the new guy. This is hi, my name's Easton. Here's an interesting thing about me, and my boldest take about
Easton.
the Titans is what? Hit us with it.
So this was hard when you posed this question this morning, and I folks that know my coverage already know that I pride myself on not being the super hot takey guy, being the nuanced, level-headed coverage. But there was still in the back of my head that desire to just say Titans to the Super Bowl to endear myself to your audience immediately. I'm not going to go that far, but my take is going to be, I think that by the end of the season, this Titans roster and coaching staff by extension will have been proven to be really good and talented. And they're still going to spend most of September, October, and into November sucking. I think that this is a team that has so many different moving parts that it's going to be a lot like, and the example I've gone back to, it's not a perfect one-to-one comparison, but I think about I think it was 2020 Tampa Bay Buccaneers, first year with Tom Brady, where coming into the year, a lot of hype on paper, looked like a really great team. They get to their late week 15 bye and they're 7-7. They've been scratching and clawing. You have the viral moments online of Tom Brady holding up the 3 or the 4 on Thursday Night Football to lose to the Bears. Things were very up and down. And then they come out of the bye and they win every game on their way to win the Super Bowl. I'm not saying the Titans are going to do that, but I do think this is a good team. And I do think that no matter how good your team is, when you have this many new key players, this many new moving parts on the coaching staff, it's going to take some time no matter what to gel. So I could see them getting through the first 12 games of the year, 6-6, 5-7, and then rattling off a bunch of wins at the end of the year to make a playoff push. If I had to guess today, probably coming up a hair short, but it may be one of those situations like I think about recent Detroit Lion teams. I think about the Miami Dolphins team before Mike McDaniel got there, where they end the season really strong, and they're one of, if not the darling of the offseason going into the next year. People are really excited about the momentum of that team. I think that's what this Titan season is going to look like.
Interesting. Sam, your thoughts on Easton's boldest take of this for this Titans team?
I was getting ready to give him a big old thumbs down for not being bold enough because he was like, yeah, my take is that they're going to be good. And I was like, hello, boring. Until he said, but they're also going to suck.
Right.
So it's a little bit of a mix. I'll take it. I'll take it as a bold take only because it's very specific. I don't think it's bold in nature to say that the Titans are going to be like,
that's fine.
They're hovering around 500, maybe making a push for the playoffs, right, but maybe not making the
I'm
playoffs.
not the hot take guy. I don't know.
Not bold in nature, but the specificity behind the scenario, I will accept as a bold take. And I don't think that's impossible, right? I think, even the nature of the schedule could suggest that, there's going to be some growing pains. They open with what I think are 5 of their toughest games in their first 6 games. I mean, Chicago, New York Jets, Green Bay, Miami, Buffalo as 5 of your first 6 opponents. That could be 5 playoff teams there, or it's at least 5 teams with playoff expectations trying to make a push and be competitive this year. and you're playing 3 of those games on the road and 1 of those games in prime time. So you don't really start with like, all right, here's the Colts at home, a trip to Carolina and Arizona coming to town where you can kind of get your sea legs under you. You're going to be thrown in the fire for a team that has a lot of moving parts, like you said. There is a world where it takes a little bit for the Titans to really get going, and that could potentially impact their result at the end of the season, but maybe not impact the way that Titans fans and the NFL view the trajectory of the organization.
Yeah, no, I think overall, like the detail behind and like the different layers to your boldest take about the Titans is interesting. So I'm going to go through the chat and then we'll get to Sam's thoughts because we're asking you guys, what is your boldest Titans take for this 2024 season? Trying to scroll all the way up to the top. Let's see here if I can find a good place to start. So I'm going to start with, where'd it go? IR Hoshi says, Levis, 4,000 yard passer. Eric goes even bolder with leading the league in passing yards from Will Levis, which this is
how we do bold takes.
That's bold take right there.
This is what we do. Like, this is, thank you.
I mean, if this is what we're looking for, okay, Tajay and Tony, both 2,000-yard rushers. I can also say just things that aren't going to happen. That's fine.
Yeah. Bork says,
got to get bold sometimes, man.
Bork says Ridley is going to help him win his fantasy football league. Jake Hughes on Facebook says division champs, which I think that's a good bold take. That's not insane, right? Chris Frazier says the real 8 will be in the MVP conversation. And Keith right there says Will Levis MVP. Darius says they can contend for the division. Devin says division winners. This is interesting too. Mike Peck, that the Titans are the most talented team in the division. I mean,
I don't like that take. I just don't. It's so arbitrary. I don't. The most. What do you mean? What do you mean they're the most talented? Like, if they don't win the most games, then they're not the most talented.
They have the highest collection of RAS scores across the roster. Is that what that means? The most talented?
Maybe they're the most athletic team.
Their collective EPA per play.
But what is talent and athleticism kind of go into?
We can do a little deep cut to my roots, which nobody make fun of me for. Easton, mute your microphone for the next 90 seconds.
No.
I, as a Chicago White Sox fan,
a White Sox take,
heard for the longest time, but this is serious, right? Like I heard for the longest time, the White Sox had all these prospects, 10 of the top 100 prospects in baseball, which had never been done before. They brought all of these guys up. They were very successful as a unit early on. They tried to bring in a couple of veterans, and then consistently year over year, the White Sox got worse and worse and worse until now they're the worst team of all time. But every year before this year, there was this like narrative around baseball of, well, the White Sox, there's so much talent here. Like they have so much talent. They just got.
This is the year they put it together.
It's like, do you need a new manager because there's so much talent? And I'm like, no, you had a lot of potential and prospects. But if your guys come up and they suck, it's no longer like talented baseball players. Like they're no longer talented guys if they come up, because how do we define talent? Potential or results? So that's my issue with like a take like this, is that saying the Titans are the most talented team in the division holds no weight whatsoever if they don't win the division.
Well, yeah, I think
talented football team, you would win the most games.
Well, but I think talent is roster specific, where I think the leaving the door open for not winning the most games.
That's like acquiring a bunch of big names and being like, well, we've got Quandre Diggs and Jamal Adams, and so we have so much talent. But at the end of the day, if Diggs and Adams don't put it together and play good football for you,
sure.
How much can you point? Like, how much can you point to and be like, well, it's a really talented secondary that just doesn't gel, or is it just not a good secondary?
It also won't matter because of how many of these guys are on 1 and 2 year deals. So you might be talented at the end of the year, as all your talent is heading out the door.
Very true.
If you didn't win the division, who cares?
I don't like that idea in sports of like looking at a team being like, what's their talent level? Like your talent level is determined by your record. You are what your record says you are.
Yeah, for sure. Curtis, Mason Rudolph will be the starter by the end of the year. Now,
Steelers fans are all over this. I've seen this everywhere. Have y'all seen this?
No, now is this because of injury or is this because Will Levis ain't the guy? And
It's
I
because of
think
Will Levis. No, it's because they love Mason Rudolph, is what it is. And the Steelers fans, I mean, Steelers fans are the type that have for a decade now been saying Mike Tomlin needs to be shown the door. So they are quite fanatical bunch. But they think Mason Rudolph is the goods. They think that Mike Tomlin has kept him from being able to really demonstrate what he's capable of doing. They think that he's the dude. So
I mean, I do think Mason Rudolph is good.
He's good.
Think Mason Rudolph is good. I definitely think he's
top 5 backup in the league.
I mean, he's a starting caliber quarterback in a lot of scenarios. Like he goes somewhere else. To me, I'm surprised that guys like, Gardner Minshew are getting opportunities to start places, and a guy like Mason Rudolph is on the outside looking in. I'm maybe if he gets a chance to play a couple of games for the Titans and does well, then he can find himself a bridge quarterback starting job. But
maybe.
So.
All right. Sam, do you want to go?
Yeah.
There's a lot of like wild card. There's Tony Pollard rushes for more yards than Derrick Henry. Like this season, I think that's
in play. That's in play.
I mean, but because both teams are going to have multiple players run for a lot of yards, I think. So that's a very interesting one too. Bork says the T-Dot mascot eats his dreams. Maybe that is called Sasquatch or Trash Squatch. Excuse me, Trash Squatch.
Is it actually Trash?
It is Trash Squatch. Yeah. So let's put Trash Squatch back on the.
Yeah,
graphic.
let me see.
That is Trash Squatch right there. So
it's a bad nickname.
That is a sleep paralysis.
I think it's
it sounds it's clever, but a mouthful, and we got to simplify, man.
No, I think it's great. Sam, your hottest or boldest Titans take about this 2024 season is what?
Yeah, so I'm not sure what my full final record is yet. I really got to dive into the schedule. We'll get into that. Here, I guess tomorrow, Austin, you and I will do that. So I'll have that for you guys tomorrow morning. But I have looked it over, and two things stood out to me: the discrepancy between home and away opponents, and for me, the vibes around this team that I expect to go into Nissan Stadium this year. So I'll get bold with it. The Titans play 8 home games. They will have at least 6 home wins this season. I think Nissan Stadium is going to be a difficult place to play for opposing teams. Does that mean the Titans make the playoffs? I don't know. The road games are tough in Chicago, in Buffalo, in Detroit, in Houston. Like there's some tough road games.
At Miami, you left out.
Yeah, at Miami in prime time. Like, yeah, there's a bunch of tough games, but I think Minnesota sucks. I think Minnesota is going to be very, very, very bad. Very bad.
The slander of Sam Darnold I won't stand for.
People look at like Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison still being there and are like, no, the Vikings will be okay. And they forget that Sam Darnold's their quarterback. They have no run game and lost pretty much their entire defensive line.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
But so I think the Vikings are going to be very bad. I think the Titans can pull off that win. I think they can beat Jacksonville at home. I think New England's going to suck, and they can beat New England at home. I think they can beat one of the Jets or Green Bay. I think those are going to be a couple of very competitive games, and not sure the Titans are going to be favored in either one, but I think that they have a fighting chance in both of those games. I think they can beat Indy at home. I think Cincinnati is a winnable game at home, if the Titans play their best football. So I'll take a shot. I'll say, let's get bold with it. Let's say the Titans get at least 6 home wins in 2024. So playoffs or not, we don't know, but Titans fans are going to be happy and want to buy tickets to these home games.
I like it. I like it a lot more than my camera refusing to focus, and I'm just blurry constantly. I'm trying to see if I can,
over there.
Yeah, it's driving me insane, and I can't do anything about it. But no, I think it's very interesting, Sam, because we can pull up the schedule graphic, and I think what you're looking at is, there's a bunch of winnable games. I think they should be able, like you said, to win either the Jets or the Packers game, and you count that as a thumbs up. Like that's a good split those two, and you should feel good about yourself. Yeah, week 6 after bye at home is another great chance too.
That was what I broke down when I did this. Is I said, all right, let's say you get one of Jets or Packers. I think you can get Indy, And then New England, Minnesota, Jacksonville is like 5. Then you're a toss-up. Like, can you beat a Cincinnati or maybe win both against the Jets or Packers? Or do you upset the Texans in the last game, especially if maybe they're not playing all of their starters? Like, who knows what that game is going to look like? But I do think there is a real path for that. Most of the tough games on the Titans schedule are on the road. Like I said, I think maybe they've got 5 really difficult opponents that they have to go and see on the road. And then, if you break it down and you take those difficult road games and you make them losses, you take some of these home games and you make them wins. You've got a few toss-up games in there. A game like, hey, can you beat Washington and the Chargers on the road? Can you win a game against Cincinnati at home or Jacksonville in Jacksonville? Like, those then become your swing games for whether or not you're a 7-10 team or a 10-7 team that's in the playoffs.
For sure. No, I like it a lot. A to Z Sports here live on this Wednesday morning. King VC says, lock in and like the show. Make sure you do hit that like button. We'll get to more of your comments too, because we're going through what is your boldest Titans take for this upcoming 2024 NFL season. We'll get to my opinion. We'll reset Easton's as we get to know him, introducing Easton Freeze, his first show as being a part of the A to Z family here in Nashville. And then we'll go over Sam's take again, but boldest take of the season, mine coming up in a second. But first, the Bone and Joint Institute is where you should turn for all of your injury needs. Whenever you get hurt in life, you have to know who you can trust and who you can turn to. And that's the Bone and Joint Institute in Franklin for me. I've had 3 different injuries: shoulder, knee, foot, over the last 4 years. I went to the Bone and Joint Institute for all of them, and I've only had to go once per injury. And then they educated me on how to do the at-home rehab for therapy, how to prevent, how to get stronger in some areas to help that injury long-term. So it could be anything for you. The shoulder injury was something that happened when I was 17 years old, and it crept back up once I turned 30. So things happen like that in life. So when you get hurt in life, just like in football, you have to know how to get it healthy again. And the Bone and Joint Institute can do that. The region's destination for comprehensive orthopedic and sports medicine care. Check them out online in Franklin, then book an appointment on their website, boneandjointtn.org.
Today's show is powered by BetMGM. BetMGM is the sports book born in Vegas, and when you use the bonus code ATOZ Sports, you can get up to $1,500 back in the form of a bonus bet if your first bet misses. Limiting your risk on sports betting is the key, especially during football season, because we're all trying to fire off our picks on NFL, on college football. But if you're not on BetMGM, you need to make an account. You need to use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up, and then whatever your first bet is risk-free. That money goes back into your account in the form of a bonus bet up to $1,500 if your first bet loses. So double the chance to win big with BetMGM and the bonus code ATOZ Sports.
All right, so a couple things. Denise says, boldest take, Frazier learns how to spell for one show and no copy and paste. That would be a bold take there. Brian asked, did Zach retire? Where has he been? No, Zach will be back on Friday. And then after regular season, after that begins, Zach will be back on Mondays with me, reacting to the Titans games on Sundays. So Zach has just been working on business type things, and the Nashville market is not under his umbrella, I guess, like it is mine for A to Z Sports company wide. So my boldest take, I'm going to go different because I think, Sam, you went at least 6 home wins out of 8. Easton, you kind of went more narrative and how the Titans will be viewed at the end of the season going through a rough patch. I'm going to go straight up statistical. I think the Tennessee Titans are going to have 3 offensive players with at least 1,000 yards from scrimmage. Okay. And I think there are probably 4 guys that this plays into. I think it's either DeAndre Hopkins or Calvin Ridley will go over 1,000 yards. And then you have the option for Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears to have 1,000 yards from scrimmage. I'm not counting return yards for all purpose. I'm talking about receiving and rushing. So I think at least 3 guys with 1,000 yards from scrimmage because of how this football is going to be, spread around all over this offense. I think you can question, I think from Sam's facial expression, questioning the boldness of this take, but I think it's something that's going to happen.
You pretty much had that last year, and that offense sucked. But Derek went over 1,000. Hopkins went over 1,000. Tajay had 900, and he barely played.
I Okay, I'll
I
up
have a
it.
suggestion. I have a suggestion to raise
I'll
you.
up it to 1,200
Okay.
because that means a receiver is going over 1,200. That hasn't happened in a long time here. How about that? Does that
I'll
make it
take
better?
that. I'll take that because that means two receivers are either both going over 1,200 or around 1,200 with some rushing value, or both running backs are going over 1,200.
Because I don't think the receivers that have 1,000-yard capabilities are going to be used in the run game. Like, I don't think D-Hop's definitely not getting in and around. If he does, he's going to throw the ball. And Calvin Ridley, I don't think is going to be used as an in-around guy either. I think they're more likely to use Chig or Burks or Jaquan Jackson in those spots than before Ridley. So I think it's,
but if you've got three over 1,200, that means both backs are going to have good productive seasons, and one of the wide receivers is going over 1,200. I'll take that as a little bit bolder, but 1,000 feels like a given for both running backs if they're healthy.
Hey, if you're sticking at 1,000, how about I raise you Tyler Boyd? What if I told you Tyler Boyd plays 16 games, 17 games, and he gets to 1,000 yards? I know I bring this up partially because Sam Phelan, I know, is not a Tyler Boyd fan.
Nice
but
guy.
Listen, but what?
Nice guy.
Nice guy.
Like the guy.
Yes. Listen, Tyler Boyd has gone over 1,000 yards a couple of times in his career. Now it's been maybe half a decade. I don't know who's counting. But we've seen, and Sam, you can't deny this. We have seen towards the end of training camp here, utilizing him a lot. It's not just as a guy in the slot, going to be a chain mover, going to sit down on a 5-yard dig. He's being used at multiple levels of the field, inside and outside the numbers. I think that he's going to be a security blanket for Will Levis, at least to begin the year. I could see him getting a significant volume of the passing game. And a part of that take would have to be, I think, banking, and not wishing upon, obviously, God forbid, but banking on some of these older skill players not being able to play the whole game. What happens if you have to roll out without DeAndre Hopkins, without Calvin Ridley, one of the running backs is banged up? If that happens, you're going to need to rely on somebody. And I would say the sneaky guy, I'm not predicting it, but I would say it would not surprise me if Tyler Boyd ended up having a much bigger year than folks believe he's going to.
Yeah, but I mean, bigger, like what, like you said, bigger than what folks believe. Like, what do people believe? 500?
I think the expectation right now is probably, as the wide receiver 3, 500-600 yards.
Okay, so he's the wide receiver.
I believe
if he's the wide receiver 3, what number is he when you include when you make it pass catchers?
You mean like statistically at the end of the year, what he is?
Pass catcher. Yeah. What number will he fall in?
If he exceeds the 1,000-yard mark, he would at least be 2, potentially 1.
Yeah, I don't. But like, I think it's, I think Calvin Ridley, D-Hop, 1A, 1B, whatever. Those are going to be the more go-to guys in the pass game.
I get that.
I think the next leading receiver will be one of the running backs as far as as far as receptions goes. I think Tyler Boyd is probably 4th or 5th on the list in terms of receiving options on the team.
Okay. Well, if they're all out there and healthy, I agree. But my point is, I'm not sure we can bake in health for this team throughout the season. And Tyler Boyd falls into that too. I mean, Tyler Boyd might miss some games. I'm just saying if he plays the whole season, I could see him being a big part of the offense. I could.
My Tyler Boyd thing is not like an anti Tyler Boyd, the player, as much as it's separating what Tyler Boyd is as a player from the expectations of Tyler Boyd as a player. I think if you're a Titans fan expecting Tyler Boyd to be over 800 yards and be like exactly what he was in Cincinnati, you're probably going to be disappointed. If you gave me an over-under on 600 yards for Tyler Boyd on the season, I would probably take the under.
So would I, but guys, this is bold takes. You asked me to be more bold.
I know. Hey,
I'm being bold here.
I just wanted to clarify, like my thing on Boyd is not like, I think Tyler Boyd is like awful and doesn't belong on the field. It's just, I mean, he is a bit washed. He's not the same guy that he was. He doesn't separate like he was. He's valuable in the Titans offense because he knows the offense really well. Mm-hmm. He has some of that Nick Westbrook-Akine to him in the fact that he's always going to be where he's supposed to be. He doesn't drop the ball. Will Levis seems to trust him a lot. And so there is going to be a natural connection there where Boyd is involved in the Titans. I just don't think he's this explosive threat that we're going to see having 100-yard games. The team, I think you're more likely to see a box score of Tyler Boyd at 4 for 38 than Tyler Boyd had 6 for 80 or 6 for 100 at any point in the season. So for that reason, I would take the under on 600 yards. I'm curious to see what Vegas has his line at, if it's even available.
No, probably not. Like Tyler Boyd's not important enough to have a preseason.
But, like,
if you know where to look, you can find that line. I promise you.
That
can
is
find
just
that line.
my difference. Like,
there's not a
I
market
think
for it.
I
So
think he
like
can have
BetMGM's not
500
gonna throw
yards.
that in.
I
Yeah,
would
but
be
you can bet on
surprised
anything.
if Tyler Boyd had 750 receiving yards. I would be surprised and very impressed.
Well, no, and here's
Or
if Tyler Boyd
concerned that DeAndre Hopkins got hurt for a significant
or
chunk of time.
Ridley or somebody, either one of those two guys got hurt. Now, Sam, you talked to Deion. I think D-Hop's going to play on Sunday.
So do I.
Sidetrack on that. Like, I feel like, and look, hey, first injury report of the year comes out this afternoon, so we'll be ready for that. But I think D-Hop's going to go out there and play. I don't know if it's going to be a full route tree, full snap count that he would normally get. They might try to ease him back in, but I think he's going to be suited out there. And on the first offensive snap, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be split out wide with Calvin Ridley. And I don't know how many receivers are going to do in the first play of the Brian Callahan era, but DeAndre Hopkins will be involved is my prediction on that.
How many times did we see that last year where it was throughout the week? Oh, D-Hop's not out there on Wednesday. He's not out there on Thursday. Oh, we're talking to him in the locker room on Friday. He's very much like, I'm just going through the process. We'll see. And then he sends something on social media on Saturday about like, can't wait to play Saturday or on Sunday. And then he's out there. It was every single time he was in question. He ended up being out there. He's never not been.
Yeah, I think this was just different because he spent 2 weeks in Los Angeles rehabbing a knee injury where he wasn't even in the building. And so, look, I think from watching him just interact in the bubble with his kids at the camp on Sunday, and then what he posted on Instagram yesterday of him just doing some sprints inside the Titans weight room in that facility. I feel pretty good about that. Sam, I don't know if you have anything else to add.
On D-Hop or
on D-Hop, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think D-Hop is a guy that knows his body, knows how to take care of his body, knows how to get on the field. I expect him to play in Chicago. If not, he'll probably be back the week after. The question is, how much do the Titans potentially want to risk having him out there for the game in Chicago? I am a believer, and I think, Austin, you feel differently about this, but you're, correct me if I'm wrong, more of like hey, this game doesn't matter as much as the division games late in the year will. So, don't get him hurt.
No, I think if you're going to make the playoffs, you have to beat the Bears.
All right. I would almost agree. So I think there's this idea in the NFL, especially. It's like, hey, this is week 1. We don't want to go out there and hurt ourselves and cost ourselves games in the future. And there's this idea of they all count the same. Whether it's Texans week 18 or
they
Bears
literally
week
don't
1.
all count the same though. So
I mean, yeah.
What do you mean?
The division games.
One game is one game, but whether it's Miami on Monday Night Football or the Bears week 1,
there's the AFC games.
They count the same towards your win-loss, but in terms of getting to the playoffs, division games, you win your division. Doesn't matter how many games you win or lose. If you win your division, you win your division.
There aren't many times tiebreakers actually come into effect.
Every single year, tiebreakers come into effect.
But again, the division is not decided on division record; it's decided on win-loss.
Yes, but your division record almost always correlates to who wins the division.
It does help for sure. But I think
it helps. Yeah.
I guess my take on this is if the Titans make the playoffs, I think it very likely includes a win over Chicago in week 1. And
I disagree.
Okay.
I also disagree, but I do think Austin, it is one of these games that is you don't know which way it's going to go. It feels the Titans aren't favored in the game, but it is a winnable game where if you're looking at, all right, we got 5 wins here. We got probably 5 losses here. And then here's a handful of the coin flip games. I do think this is one of your hey, we'll see where this one goes kind of games. And those are important to win to make the playoffs. But I do believe there's a path that,
very likely that a playoff resume includes a win over the Bears, in my opinion.
But didn't this start along the lines of should D-Hop play or not? Because at the end of the day, I think in terms of whether Chicago is important enough a game to rush him out there if he's not 100%, I disagree on that front. I think if he's not 100%, you do not play him.
I think you do.
I think you do.
Because you're going to dress 6 receivers, and we're getting into.
Well, I say that with the assumption of what the injury is. If there's any soft tissue element to it, where it's if the doctors determine it's a high risk of re-injury, I don't think you put him out there.
This is a funny comment. Servuko says Austin looks like he's regretting hiring Easton. No, you should see my facial expression when Zach returns on Friday. And I started the company with the guy. so no, don't read too much into that. I like the disagreement. As Sam kind of said, this is what makes it fun. All right, let's go ahead and flip the script here too, because we've got this show Thursday and Friday before the pregame show on Sunday. The season kicks off. I have rapid fire predictions for the Titans, and this is Easton's day to give his predictions. Sam and I will do that on Thursday. You got time out first?
Yeah, just because I get rattled and I have to express myself and my feelings.
It's about the White Sox again.
Nope, this is a really bad take, and I just wanted to say that.
That is a crazy take, but that's because Romadunze is good and Tyler Boyd is less.
Easton,
good.
welcome to the A to Z chat. There is this. I don't know. I don't think.
You told me they hate Rome, which is crazy.
No, they love Rome, but like they hate anything related to the Chicago Bears. I think I saw a couple takes earlier that said the Bears are going to go 1-16. People believe that the Bears suck, and
hey, this is just like Blaine Bishop.
I don't like it, but it's frustrating. Austin, here's the problem that we have is like I like being aligned with our chat, but you keep going.
You got to be the villain sometimes, Sam.
I'm
just lean into it.
I'm going to dance on your grave Monday morning when
this is literally.
That's what might happen at Soldier Field, and then I'm gonna have to dance on your grave.
Okay.
If you fire off dumb stuff about the Bears, and then the Bears come and smack you, I'm gonna have to dance on your grave, and I don't want to dance on your grave. I want to be aligned. I want to talk about the game and be measured and be like, hey, here's where the Bears are good. Here's where the Titans are good. Have a conversation much like you and I did yesterday, Austin. But when the chat gets out of pocket, just know I'm taking receipts.
Sam, if the chat had been present for your and I's long preseason game argument over the status of the Bears starting tight end, I think they would have hired me there on the spot, because you want to talk about out-of-pocket delusion. That would be your opinion on the Bears starting tight end, but that's a conversation for another day.
He's a good tight end. I don't think
you think he's a top 5 tight end, which is crazy.
Borderline top 5. Sure.
He's a replacement level tight end.
All right. If the Bears lose the Titans, Sam will eat dog do from a red Solo cup.
That's what I heard. He tweeted it, I think.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. All right, let's
deleting my online presence.
Okay, I've got rapid fire Titans predictions for Easton, and we're gonna see how we feel about these questions that I have. But first, Farm Bureau health plans. If you are looking for a new health coverage plan and you want to have better coverage and pay less per month for that coverage, crazy, right? That's what Farm Bureau health plans can do for you. Whether you have a growing family, whether your family is empty nested and you and your spouse are looking around for things to do, and you're like, we should probably change our health coverage because we're getting older. We need that next level of coverage. Farm Bureau health plans can do that. Maybe you're an independent contractor, an entrepreneur, and you're single out there fighting the world, and you need to have the right plan for you. Farm Bureau health plans have been serving Tennesseans for 78 years, and they've adapted just as the technology, as society has adapted, to make sure that they have the best options for you. Not cookie cutter plans, but the right plan for you. Whether it's the health, the dental, the vision, individual things. You don't need vision, that's fine. Whatever it might be, they've got you covered. And check them out with our link, fbhp.com/ATOZ.
Today's show powered by BetMGM. BetMGM is the sportsbook born in Vegas. Use the bonus code ATOZ Sports when you sign up on BetMGM and get up to $1,500 back when your first bet misses. Go bet on the Titans to win in Chicago. Make sure you use the bonus code when you get your money back after that bet loses. The sportsbook born in Vegas. You like that one? The sportsbook born in Vegas. BetMGM, BetMGM.com. Bonus code ATOZ Sports.
Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older. Tennessee only new customer offer. All promotions subject to qualification and requirements. First online room money wager. Only rewards issued in offers. One spends expiring 7 days. And for problem games, call Tennessee Red Light 800-9789. Good. Jeez, I'm bad. Okay.
We are going to have to do, last thing I'll say on this, we are going to have to do somewhat maybe of a friendly wager here, Austin, with me in the chat. Me versus the chat. Okay.
Then you can come up with that for tomorrow's show, and we will present that to the audience on tomorrow's show, and we can have that discussion about you versus the chat, because I'm not involved in this.
No, that's fair. I'll go against
Sam told me 2 weekends ago he would take Bears minus 9.5. Sack up and do it on the show.
I might. I probably will.
Say it. Make it official on the show tomorrow.
I think
Make it official.
I think the Bears are going to win the game. I think they're probably going to win the game by 2 scores.
Okay.
I think they're going to win the game big. That's my opinion on it. I do want to say, like, that is that is me trying to be objective about like what the Bears team is versus where I see this Titans team in their roster construction. There is a difference. On the show, I can be a little bit more like lippet with it here and like
questioning your honesty. They're questioning your judgment, Sam.
Well, I don't know. I'm firing off like what I think here.
I know. You're trying to prove that you mean what you say. We know you mean what you say. We just think you're wrong.
Like, this show is a little bit different from what I do off of this show. And so, like, when I
oh, now you try.
No, wait, no.
Don't subdivide real life in the show.
No, I'm saying that very seriously. Like, I mean, I have to, when I cover the Titans, I cover the Titans as a Titans reporter. I do not bring in my opinions or Bears fandom or any of that into the job. And when I go to Soldier Field and I cover the game, I will be covering the game from a Titans perspective. I will not have Bears rooting interest in the things that I tweet and the things that I write and the things that I do covering the
enough
team.
Of this. I know. I got. We will.
No, hang on, y'all. You two are pissing.
No, I'm not.
Do it tomorrow. Sam.
We will do it tomorrow. We will do it tomorrow. Sam texted last night. We gotta be tight with the show. I got things.
Get out of here. All right, go.
Okay.
Go.
All right.
Already gotten under Sam's skin day one.
Okay, so
you won't let me talk. Like, what are we doing here? Like, that's the point of the show.
We'll do that tomorrow. We'll go through your Bears bet tomorrow. I like where we're going with that. We'll do it tomorrow. All right. So rapid fire Titans predictions for Easton. I'm just going to go through this. There are 10 of them, but they're not going to take that long, right?
Okay.
How many touchdown passes for Will Levis this season?
16.
16.
Yeah.
Oh, chat, go get him. Chat, go get him.
16.
I think 16 touchdown passes, like 5 rushing touchdowns. Yep.
How many Will Levis interceptions?
7.
Who leads the Titans in rushing yards?
Tajay.
Okay. Receptions leader.
That's really tough. I'll say Calvin.
Receiving yards leader.
I'll also say Calvin.
Receiving touchdowns leader.
Let's get fun and say Josh Wiley, red zone threat.
That's a sneaky good one. I don't think it's going to happen, but it's a good futures bet with high odds.
Yeah.
Does Treylon Burks change the narrative about himself this season?
Yes, but like enough to be your future starting receiver. Probably. I think people are more fond of him after the season than they were to begin the season. Yes. I don't know how much more though.
Okay. Who is the Titans defensive MVP?
I'll try to make amends with Sam and to unify us once again here. Our boy T'Vondre Sweat.
The defensive MVP, rookie T'Vondre Sweat.
Sure,
okay.
Why not? Big year for the Rook. Our guy.
Official win-loss prediction for this Titan season.
9-8.
Do
Borderline.
the Titans make the playoffs? And what happens if they do?
I'm going to say they make a big push like I did at the beginning of the show, but miss out. Complicated AFC.
All right. So, Sam, I'll let you respond.
I'm regretting my 16. I just kind of fired what came to mind, and I'm already regretting it.
Right,
I know.
16
maybe I should have said like 22. Maybe what number would you have said?
I will talk about this tomorrow.
Oh, you're going to do it yourself. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So 16 touchdowns and 7 picks for Levis. Tajay, the leading rusher. Leading receiving receptions and yards is Calvin Ridley. Receiving touchdowns leader is Wiley. Yes, Treylon Burks changes the narrative. Defensive MVP T'Vondre Sweat, 9-8, but missing the playoffs. Sam, I will let you pick apart Easton's predictions on what you think was bad, good, or whatever.
Well, don't I have to do this tomorrow?
Yeah, I just want to know where, like, you don't have to get into yours. I just want you to analyze Easton's.
Yeah, I think 16's low.
Part of the 16
low.
is that I think he's going to rush for more than people think. That's part of, but 16 probably is low. I'll give you that.
I just think the offense, I mean, unless Tajay and Tony are going for like 8 apiece, like there's more touchdowns in this offense than 16. It's going to be a much better offense.
I think it'll be a lot of rushing, but
you can own that. What was the Wiley thing?
Touchdown receptions leader.
Crazy. Yeah. No chance.
I think he has a chance to be third, which I think is like an upset. Like I think, but I think that's a.
I think Hopkins leads the team in but now I'm spoiling my own thing. I don't think any of it's super crazy. I don't believe Treylon changes the narrative
at all.
Well, I just believe like opportunity matters with Treylon. I saw a comment earlier asking what I was like, oh, does 16 break out this year? No takes on that. And for me, it's just hard to like expect like a big year out of Treylon Burks when you understand he's the fourth receiver coming into the year. And regardless of what, like, I believe the narrative of Treylon Burks isn't necessarily we hate Treylon. Treylon's an absolute bum or whatever. Like, it's the fact that he's a first round pick that doesn't live up to what the expectation was of him. So even if he's healthy, even if he contributes to some of these wins, and you look at the end of the year and he's got 300 receiving yards, and you're just like, I mean, 300 receiving yards could mean Treylon contributes to this team and has one or two big plays every game, but he's your fourth option or fifth option, like receiving wise, maybe sixth option if you factor in a running back. So it's like, I don't know. That all to me is, I have a hard time seeing how he has a season that makes people be like, you know what? Treylon Burks not so bad. Like, I think we're still going to look at it. And unless it's like
injury,
Hopkins is out for the year and Treylon is the savior and goes for 850 and 6 scores or whatever. Like, you know, how do we change that narrative? I don't know.
Can I defend the 16? One last thing on the 16.
Yes, you have
the median team last year had about 40 touchdowns. So that's where I was with my head. I was thinking people are going to overestimate their receiving touchdowns. So I was thinking the Titans score about 40 touchdowns and like 16 to 20 of them are rushing, and people are surprised by how many rushing touchdowns they have.
Okay. I think that's a decent. I think 16 is still too low, but I think
it probably is. I'm with you on that. If I could redo it, I'd say 20.
It's not as bad as
I mean, I think Tannehill and Levis threw for more than 16 combined last year.
Not much, not many more.
Right, but I mean, we're talking 16. We're talking. It's similar to last year, which I think would be a shocker.
I feel like it took Tannehill like 5 weeks before he threw his first touchdown pass.
I also think the interception number for me will be higher than 7 as well.
Yeah, I agree. I think 16 and 7 were both a little low. We'll do ours tomorrow officially. Got some super chats before we get to trivia. Noah says, need to have a segment of Easton calling out bad national media takes on the Titans called Freezing Cold Takes. I'm sure Easton's heard that one many times before.
Never heard a freezing joke in my life. No.
Yeah, right. Just Smash says, can you please put him on the top? Yeah.
Right now, podcast.
Yeah, no, I know what the end of it was, but I didn't know what the middle of it meant. Austin Huff, that's up to him, but we will discuss that. We got to get Easton doing other things before we do any of that. But Just Smash also says, I'm the chat bet man, Sam, as Zach about me. So ask Zach.
Got those picks. Him. Just Smash has those picks. He's that sharp.
Is
big sharp Just Smash.
And then Zachary Smith says, I feel like the media is hyping Williams up, aka Sam. I hope he's good, just not against the Titans. LOL. He can't go cry on the sideline if it doesn't go his way. Look, I think
it's a good player.
I don't think Sam's been so like overwhelmingly biased towards the Bears.
I think Sam's been very fair about Caleb Williams.
I think you can say a lot of things about Caleb. I don't think you can say the media is hyping him up. Maybe now, like things have started to like flip a little bit. But he was getting negative media pretty much 24/7 until, in my opinion, he sort of forced people's hands a little bit. Like it felt like the media was like in general, like national media or non-Bears fans that are, in the football space were very anti Caleb Williams until.
But it was off-field stuff.
Huh?
It was off-field stuff, right? It wasn't.
Yeah, but I mean, you got to see his personality on Hard Knocks. A lot of people criticized him on the field too. Like he wasn't that good at USC his last year. He got worse as his college career went on.
That's bad.
I've seen it, but
Sean's media's been hyping him up. He's the number one overall pick.
You look at what he did in the preseason, and you say, all right, he's kind of earning a little bit of praise. And yeah, he's the number 1 overall pick in the draft. Like, there's a reason that he was the number 1 overall pick in the draft.
Who's the last
People
number
think he's
1
good at
overall
football.
pick that hasn't been hyped up? Luke Jokel? Like, I mean,
Trayvon Walker.
What do we do? I mean, yeah, Trayvon Walker would probably be the correct one, but that was just a dumb pick.
But yeah, I mean, those are non-quarterback number 1 overall.
Exactly.
I mean,
Like,
Bryce
the quarterback
Young
that goes
is-
number 1 overall.
Bryce Young was
going to
still
have
hyped up. I mean, because he was
Yeah.
the Heisman Trophy winner. He was the magician. He was short as hell. And
Remember Trevor to the Jaguars? Trevor and Urban Meyer are going to take this team to new heights. And then
yeah, it's a number 1 overall pick. Like that's what's going to happen. And Caleb Williams was very talented. So again, I'm with Bork. I don't think Sam's being crazy about the Bears, except for his a little bit overzealous Cole Kmet take, who's a good player.
I think he's
player.
a top 10 tight end.
So
Place
all right,
level tight end.
let's end this mess and go ahead and wrap up and see how we can do with a 3-person hosted sports trivia. And hopefully this doesn't
Who's running
hurt
this,
us.
by the way?
You are running this, by the way.
All right.
Easton's got to get warmed up to the
Yeah, I don't know how this
transition.
works. I'm just here to answer the questions.
So Sam will have the trivia buttons there, but let's get it going with sports trivia. Wilson County Hyundai, make them a part of your new car buying process. Go see them in Lebanon. Say hey to Payne Bone Forest. WilsonCountyHyundai.com is where to go. Sam, I will let you bring up your screen here for our sports trivia on this Wednesday. So we'll see if 3 people is going to make us better or worse.
If I somehow bring down the collective IQ, that's really tough. So I hope it's not worse.
Or of like too many cooks type of thing. I think that's what it has a potential for.
Okay.
So here's how we do this. We go rapid fire with our sports trivia. We always start with the NFL being the first category. I think our record's like 3 minutes and 12 seconds. I want to say, Sam, I think you and I did 3 minutes, 12 seconds earlier in the summer. So it's NFL first, and then I will get the next 3 categories from the chat, which will be retail shopping, music, and movies.
Okay. Are we doing just rapid fire?
Rapid fire.
Thing? Like, if I know it, I'm putting it in.
If you know it, throw it in there.
All right, chat. You got to be quick then.
NFL, retail shopping, music, movies.
After totaling less than 4,000 yards in his first 4 seasons, QB Scott Mitchell
Lions.
for 43.38 for the Lions in 1995. Retail shopping. Anthony Edwards, Lionel Messi, Haley Van Lith, and Jenna Ortega are current brand ambassadors for what major footwear and apparel brand?
Is this not Nike?
It's not Nike.
Because no, didn't the track guy get upset for being invited to Anthony Edwards Nike?
It was a shoe, yeah, but
Puma.
That
That makes
sounds
sense. I don't know.
Adidas?
We've got
Reebok?
Adidas, Reebok. I have no idea. What would make sense for Messi?
Adidas.
I see a lot of Adidas.
Adidas sounds right.
Let's go Adidas.
Bang. All
Okay.
right.
Music.
Movies.
Okay, that's fine.
Along with roles in She's All That and Summer Catch, this actor portrayed Fred Jones in the 2002 live-action Scooby-Doo adaptation.
Ooh.
I know the guy.
Wow.
His name.
I
Freddie
love
Prinze.
Huh?
Freddie Prinze?
Brady?
What?
Freddie Prinze Jr.?
Frey?
Freddie Prinze.
Oh, Freddie. Sure.
Yeah, I couldn't understand what you were saying. It sounded like
Freddie.
a bunch of gibberish.
Oh, sorry. Freddie Prinze.
Music. All right. After being the lead singer of the Supremes, this legendary artist released hits in the 1970s and 1980s like Upside Down. This is Jack Johnson. Upside Down. No.
Oh, yeah, no, the Supremes
Jack
is an all
Johnson's
girls
way
group.
younger than
I just read Upside Down.
70s.
I just read Upside Down. That's such
Oh,
that's
like
my bad.
brutal.
All right, we'll come
We're
back
getting
to it.
Diana Ross.
We'll come back to it. Let's see, where are we going?
Television.
Originally running on Fox from 2012 to 2015, romantic comedy series The Mindy Project. What streaming platform?
Oh,
This is Mindy Kaling, right?
I think it's Netflix.
Netflix sounds right. I have no idea.
I think it's on Netflix. We tried to watch it because we're big Office people and we couldn't do it. I'm pretty sure it's Netflix.
Hulu is a couple people in the chat.
It's currently on Netflix, but Hulu is getting a lot of.
On what streaming platform from 15 to 17?
quit booing Sam and help us with this question, please. Hulu.
A lot of
Let's go
Hulu love.
Let's
Yeah.
go Hulu.
Yeah, and now this is on the chat if it's wrong. So
Okay.
There we go.
all right,
Beverages.
The words "born in Maine" are found on the label of this brand of bottled water introduced in the 1800s, whose wrappers have a green and white color scheme.
Is this a Perrier water?
Perrier. Oh, maybe. That's green and white.
Perrier? I'm not sure I've ever heard of that.
Really?
You'll recognize it when you see it.
Oh,
Perr.
like
Yeah.
Oh,
No.
oh.
All right.
Celebrity mashup. This is okay. So this is George Clooney and
who?
Aaron.
Aaron Paul.
Aaron Paul.
Yeah.
Good job.
I'm always good at the mashups. That's the one that I can.
It's a newer picture of Clooney.
Mm-hmm.
Commonly known by a single name, goalkeeper Ricardo helped this European country reach the 2006 World Cup semis.
Soccer is not my thing, man.
That's so long ago for me.
Yeah.
That's like before I paid attention to the World Cup, I think.
Shut up, Jeff. Chat's too busy booing me.
Yeah, we tried to read the chat. You
Y'all
guys
are slow, man.
Argentina?
Sounds right.
That's not.
No, I have no idea. Paraguay, Sweden.
Paraguay.
I don't think Ricardo is Sweden, but that's just.
I mean, Spain has won a lot of World Cups.
Spain or Portugal.
A lot of Portugal. We'll go.
I think Portugal, because that was like Cristiano Ronaldo early.
Hey.
Okay.
On March 24th, 2017, the Suns lost to the Celtics despite this player scoring 70 points.
Devin Booker. All right, we got a double dip. Music is Diana Ross. And Poland Springs is the water.
Poland Springs. Interesting.
Dang, that's brutal.
Is it? I don't know. What is the
winning all
standard?
of it?
We never don't. I don't think that's the first time that we haven't gotten all of them.
Jack and I had some really rough.
I blame Austin in the chat.
You blame me?
I wasn't much help.
Just for
hand up on that
because
one.
I'm off my game.
Oh, it's my fault.
The chat's got Sam rattled, so it's on Austin. That's
honestly the chat. I'm less mad. I'm less upset at the chat right now.
You're more mad at me than the chat. You're the one that said Jack Johnson, 1970s music.
That's a great song.
It's not the point. 1970.
Dude, y'all are uncultured.
Water fits the
chat.
Uncultured. We know the song "Upside Down" by Jack Johnson. I'm not saying I don't know the song.
Tell me this.
Yeah, Curious
George guy. It's not getting any copyright things here.
Curious George guy.
It's a vibe.
I just can't believe that Sam is that upset with me. Like, what did I do?
Yeah, you know what you did.
I know what I did. Oh man, this is a fun
chaotic day here on the show.
All right, that'll be it for us on this Wednesday. Sam and I will be back tomorrow. Sam will have his Bears Titans bet prepared, and we'll do more predictions. And I'll give Sam the floor.
No, we're done talking Bears. I won't. I'm not even.
Literally, all you're talking about tomorrow is the Bears.
I'm not going to say the word Bears for the next week. So that might
Chicago.
Refer to them as the Titans' Week 1 opponent all day tomorrow.
Exactly.
That'll be it. All right, guys, like the show, hit that thumbs up button before you guys head out on Facebook and on YouTube, and we'll be back tomorrow. We do have an announcement that'll come out here in a couple hours, so stay tuned to our social media about that, and we'll react to that and the team in Chicago on a Thursday. So appreciate you guys as always. We'll catch you guys later, and Buck Rising Live tonight at 7. Holler later. See ya.